Hey, guys. Welcome in. You're watching the Stocktwits Community Rip Live. It's usually 2 p.m. Eastern, but we're at 1:30 today because we've got special guests coming up. I think we're going to talk to Tom Lee, and I think we're going to talk to Jay Powell after the Fed announcement. So we are coming at you live with all this energy. Of course, it's been Bags. We got Nick Jfdi over there and Gautam Gpaisa. Hey guys, welcome in. Thanks for being here. As always, my two stars of the show. I told you I was going to be saucy, Nick.
Yeah, I'm into it. Happy Wednesday, hump day.
Hump
Hey,
day.
real. Oh shoot!
What's going on? What's happening?
Is the link live on Stocktwits?
Yes, I just we're live right now across all the internet. YouTube, X, Stocktwits. You got it. We're right here. Producer Ryan patched us in. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, maybe not. Okay. Well, I had the link from earlier when I posted it, but whatever. We're here. GP. Yeah. Anything that we're expecting to see today for the next 30 minutes before we hear something that has like an 88% chance of happening?
No, like for the last 2 weeks, we've literally been between the October gap, right? The gap up, the October that we rejected and we flushed out. We've literally just been sitting in that gap for the last 2 weeks, going zero places. If you were a day trader, you loved it because you were stacking gains at the top and the bottom of the ranges. Other than that, we're just waiting. That's all I got. That's a good show for today.
Okay. thanks for tuning in early. We'll see you next week right here. No, Nick, are you expecting anything? Because sometimes I can't tell with GP. Sometimes he's throwing the wet blankie, and sometimes he's Pollyanna, and sometimes he's all in Tesla. And like I just can't get the vibe right now with GP. So where are you at, Nick?
I think coming into today, the morning action was pretty much spot on to what we touched on yesterday. Yesterday, I think to be expected, you probably were going to see some shorts covering. It was also a kind of a turnaround Tuesday after having a red Monday. And then obviously this morning, probably getting mixed results heading into the Fed announcement. You could lean kind of both ways, I think, here on the short term. Like I don't think it would be what's the right way to say it? I don't think it would look terrible for us to kind of sell off and pull into, like, let's say the 615 area on the Qs, just kind of retesting the high volume candle on November 20th. It's kind of in alignment with the 20 and the 50-day. On the flip side, it's like I could see us absolutely ripping out of here too. And I think both, no matter how it kind of plays out, the opportunities are going to present themselves. If you get the weakness and you see, I guess it kind of depends on what it looks like too. So it's kind of a waiting game right now. I would imagine most, I don't know. I would imagine most people are probably and should be positioned long. And so again, if you get the weakness, I don't know if I would be looking to add to positions on like an immediate spike low. I think I would rather see the action tomorrow as opposed to today. If we do rip out of here today, so like let's say we go on an absolute ripper and the Qs rip the 630 pivot high. Tomorrow I'd want to see whatever type of weakness we get remain contained. So like I'd want to see the 629, 630 hold as kind of like the low in tomorrow's weakness. I probably wouldn't be, again, these are if thens, like let's say we do get a rip out of here today. I can't say that I would be super interested in chasing a gap up or adding on a gap up tomorrow. I'd rather wait to see if we get some we get some sell off in the morning or all day. I mean, kind of depends on how it plays out. And then see how we close on Friday. Just looking at the charts between the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM is definitely holding up better than the other two. As of right now, it would kind of go IWM, SPY, and then the Qs. I think Microsoft is probably weighing on the Qs, along with Meta, are probably the two weakest that I saw in the video a little bit. Tesla's holding up all right. Google's doing Google. And then what was Amazon? Amazon looks pretty good, and oh yeah, Apple, of course. And Apple's
Microsoft's
kind of
just been
sitting
struggling,
empty.
right? Of the mega
Yeah.
caps that we look at quite regularly, Microsoft's just been on the struggle bus. And like our friend iDog on Stocktwits says, it's the most poopy effing turd, MSFT, if you can take that for a grain of salt. It's been bad, right? Since
Yeah.
I think this was the news that came out. What was it? Something OpenAI related, and then we've seen just a precipitous decline over what is that 7 weeks now.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to look more bear flaggish than it did prior. I really would have wanted to see it kind of push and reclaim that like 492 low is ultimately where
GP's
it
shaking his
failed.
head. GP's shaking his head.
Look at how we bottomed in April.
In April. Yeah, I see that. I let's see.
It's literally almost the same exact pattern, right?
Yeah.
At just a different point on the chart. Yeah.
Big bust out, retest, and then boom. Meta, to me, Meta just filled the gap before FOMC. That leans to the side of bulls, not bears. That's like that. Now take a look at Meta and compare it to April as well. We had that.
Yeah.
You see that green candle, that wick right after right there. Filled the gap. Off we go. It's all technical, is all I will say. It's not panic. It's not selling. Rocket Labs is another one that got to 58. It's a point on my chart that I drew 58, and boom, literally down to $2 immediately. All of this stuff is massive move, by the way. All of this stuff is super technical, and at times where you have to worry is when things aren't behaving technically, right? So to me, when you're getting technical back tests, Nick, Ben, those are bullish signs. Those aren't bearish signs to me. When we start failing these levels, right, with like miserable price action and not getting it, then I'd be more worried. Yes, has it been weak? For sure. No, there's no argument there on Microsoft. Meta actually had a stronger response to Microsoft, but it's all doing technical stuff right now. So I'm not concerned. If we need to pivot to being more bearish post FOMC, then we will. But other than that, it doesn't, like, nothing seems broken, right? Like nothing seems out of tune. It's just backfilling with market has general no direction, right? For weeks now. Ever since the bounce off of the 21st, 22nd, we just have no, but small caps have been leading, just beyond leading, right? And if you're looking at ticks all day, ticks were pretty green all day, still remain green even with all this selling underneath. And then you have the advanced decliners. It's 6 to 4, right? We were 60% U-vol on the day, and that tells you that there's more advancers than decliners. So nothing to be inherently worried about. I do see the setup where Qs can go back and test 597. So I'm not going to argue that conversation. It's very similar to August 2024. where we had the gap up in the Qs, breakdown, and then kind of a rounding top back into that gap up, and then retest that. Yeah, retest that level. Yep, you see it done. So if you go back to that August time frame of 2024, not this year, 2024.
Well, I've got to get a hold of my trading view here. There we go.
Yeah. So like similar to that, right? You see that gap up, kind of exhaustion gap at the end, then got wrecked on whatever news that was during that time frame. Came back, bounced, round trip, rounded, boom, retested the gap, and then off we go. So definitely can see that scenario here as well. So I'm obviously going to be cautious. There is a gap in October, so if we break below that, get short, and if we break above that, get long. Do not do this in the time frame of 2 and 3:30. You're gonna get chopped to bits, right? Like you're just gonna get chopped.
So, I mean, this is something that we've seen time and time again, right? Like the adage is out there because it happens, right? The first move's the false move, yada yada yada. But we've also seen that regardless of maybe what today's close looks like, tomorrow could be a reversal of that, right? Like it could look like the world is ending tonight, and then for whatever reason in the morning, off to the races. Or vice versa. We can get any combination of this during a Fed meeting. And that's, to me, it's a binary event, but it's always interesting to discuss and to watch it play out in real time, especially when you have names like NVIDIA, who's been sideways for almost 160 straight days or sessions, right? Like that is an eternity for this chart to really not make a move outside the range. Further, Amazon, nearly the same thing. I think that's like 180 days, right? Or 180 sessions of going sideways. So you've got all this either potential to go higher from the compression and accumulation, or you could see a drop down that in my what I'm going to plan on do if I see a drop, I'm going to probably be buying the dip. Nick, are you looking to buy the dip if there is one, or do you not even take this into consideration?
Yeah, I think I would. I think it's going to largely depend on when and how it plays out. I don't think I'll be trying to necessarily bottom tick weakness unless like it was more on kind of the short term, like just like, looking at the cues per se, like if we sold off and kind of held above that 615 area, I think I would be. I'd at least try to, because I would have a spot to kind of pick against if we sliced through that. Actually, let me pull up the weekly real quick. If we, yeah, the 615 area is probably the area that I would be looking to play against. If we took that out, I'd probably be in the camp that we're probably going to head back to, like, again, probably retest like that 585 ish, which I don't think would look that bad either. But I think looking at the mag names, if we saw that weakness, I think that would take, Microsoft down to probably 400, 400, maybe 420, kind of the low end of the previous range. I like the setup in Meta a lot more than Microsoft currently. Yes. And what I like about Meta is it looks kind of like an island. It's not, we haven't gotten a prolonged downtrend or a prolonged sell-off, but you still kind of have that island formation underneath the 200-day, and you've got that 680 kind of pivot to play against. And if we saw like a rip or a gap through that, it would squeeze hard because you've got the price kind of reclaiming the 200 and the 50 right there. Both the 200 and the 50 are right in alignment with basically the island high. So I don't know. Yeah, I hear what GP is saying in terms of Microsoft. maybe 400's a little bit of an overshoot, but I think it would take it down to like the 425 to like 435 areas where I think,
Dude,
if we saw like
if Microsoft
like
drops
real
another
weakness coming.
20%, you're basically saying Microsoft's going to drop another 20%. It is the second largest weighted name. You think it's going to stop at 585? You don't think Microsoft cascades everything for another 20% down?
No, because I think that I think that gap high, the range between the gap like 425 to even like let's say 450, kind of, because the 450 is basically the breakout from 450 is like basically the breakout. The gap that we had on May 1st was kind of the igniter. Like that was a high volume gap up to basically like a gap and go that led to the run all the way up to 560. So it would be tough if Microsoft was like a focus name. I think it would make sense to try and play against 450 because that is the prior breakout. But the real high volume candle is the 435 to 425. But I hear I hear what you're saying as far as like it. I mean, that's probably why we're seeing the Q's drag at the moment, just being that Microsoft's probably weighing on it.
Yeah, and I think what was the low here? 464, and then the prior low was 468. I mean, you got to break that low first, right? Like you've got to sink below that before any of these other prices are realized. So I think that's just a good place to look.
Yes, to say that I think that it's going to 425, 435, or even 450. Yes, it has to take that. I mean, at 465, you're pretty much already at 450 there. But yeah, that would have to happen for.
Hey, for everybody who's watching over on YouTube, or if you're on X, and if you want to join the chat, we're over on the Stocktwits chat. So I posted that link just a few minutes ago. I'm not going to be in the other chat, so I'm only one man. Nick, maybe you can moderate that chat. I don't know, but we love you. We're happy to have you chat over in YouTube. That's where Randy and John and I think Zah's at. But anyway, enough about the mega caps. I mean, I love talking about it. We can talk about it for days, but I don't think that's what you two want to talk about. And I don't think you want to continue talking about Fed discussion and what's most likely to happen. So we'll wait and see what happens there in approximately 10 minutes on a decision. But I think one thing that our good friend Matt, who was on the show last week, brought up earlier in a tweet and a stock twit was space. The diamond eyes frontier. And look at this guy. Look at this guy here with these diamond eyes. Nicholas, what is it about that tweet and Matt's insight on space that got you all frothy and seeing diamond eyes here?
Well, I mean, I think yesterday we talked about the potential return of Shitco season, Santa's Shitco gifts, and whether or not like the space related names or all things aerial kind of get ahead of themselves. I think that's kind of a moot point. Like what we're really talking about, like, is just the area of focus. And so we talked about jets a little bit, which again, you could probably lean into drones as well, from Joby to Archer to ONDS. Shit, dude, I feel like I'm tripping. Holy shit. So, there's a ton of names in that speculative space, and not even just drones, but like a lot of the ones that we were playing earlier in the year, like Lunar, like the machine, the robot stuff, like RR, UMAC, the satellite stuff, like SATS is ripping, ASTS, Rocket Labs, obviously. And so anyways, when Matt tweeted that, he had a pretty solid list. for any of you guys that are listening and on either Twitter or Stocktwits, I retweeted his. I retweeted that this morning. But yeah, so it was Redwire, it was ASTS, Rocket Labs,
Northrop Grumman,
MDA, Boeing, NOC, LMT, and then VSAT. Just a solid list. And so a lot of the setups are there. I mean, you can pull up any one of them. Is there one that you want to specifically touch on, Ben? Or
that's huge.
like
GP, is there one you like? I know you're in Rocket Lab, right? Or did you lose your position?
No, so I entered shares at 42.50. I'm still holding those, but alongside of those, I entered January 50 calls around $2, and I trimmed out all my capital today at $10.70. Now we see if it fails 58, because 58 is a pretty decent level. If it fails, then I'll be closing out the rest of it. It has been insanely strong. Thank you, Elon, for having ridiculous valuations on SpaceX that no one can actually participate when you IPO at 1.5 trillion. But if SpaceX is coming in at 1.5, Rocket Labs at 22 billion seems like a steal. So never know, it could continue going, but 58 is the natural point of contention here. So if you are long or if you are short, this is the area I'd be watching.
You know, after I saw Matt's tweet, I thought about SpaceX versus Rocket Lab, because this is basically going to be the UPS and FedEx of space, right? Like those are going to be the two that are going to be the payload carriers. And what other choices do you have?
What is it going to sound like when they actually do start building these data centers up on the fucking moon? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, everyone, like the Google, like I saw a headline like Google was talking about it. Obviously, Jensen was talking about it. Elon's talked about it.
It would have to use less cooling and less energy, right? Now, what the transfer is getting it back and forth, I don't know what that might look like, but you would think the coldness of space, like, right, you're not going to need cooling, and you would think that would make things more efficient, so you would probably need less energy. Now, it might take more energy to get it there, but I don't know. I can see a lot of positive benefits of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a big enough brain to really wrap my mind around I don't know, the intricacies of all of that. It sounds very sci-fi and fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds fucking awesome. I don't know.
GP, how do we make money off sci-fi and fucking cool?
Yeah, tell us.
Buying Rocket Labs.
Buying Rocket Labs, yeah.
I think in general you make it by I have no fucking clue, guys. I have no idea.
Just buy calls when it looks good on the chart.
Yes. I don't think about themes in that way, right? Like I think about themes in what charts are doing as a sector itself. So just something to watch.
Yeah, like I said, I think all the names look good. I think they're all kind of set up to go. I think everything from momentum traders to growth investors to even long-term investors, I think it's a space literally that everyone's going to want to be involved in if they're not already. So, yeah, Arson, I don't know. I know enough to know that like I don't know. I don't know. There's so much. You know, like
let's move on before
let's talk crypto before FOMC starts. Right?
Yeah. We got 5 minutes for crypto, and what we said yesterday seems to continue to be true today, right? ETH seems to be doing its thing.
Yeah.
But not just ETH, right? Bitcoin is doing its thing too. So
Yeah. But we sorry. What I meant to
lagging.
say was yesterday, ETH is leading, right? ETH is leading
Yeah.
the charts. It has broken out. Basically, it's confirmed the bottom. And I think the three of us are all bullish and expect more in the short term, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Biddy is like if you're looking at a 4-hour chart, Biddy is tagging right against that 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart, and the 50 SMA is curling. Generally, you get an expansion candle out to allow the curl to happen. So like it's bullish leaning even on intraday time frames. So I like it. You can see the relative strength that's appearing even in the stocks related to it, right? BMNR has been green pretty much all day. SBET has been green all day. There's a lot of volume coming in here. You essentially had a double bottom on these names as well. MicroStrategy is MicroStrategy ultimately, but even that looks good. Back tested multiple levels today, held, and is trying to reverse. So overall, Bitcoin, which was the first to kind of really push up and out of the April area, could be a leading indicator here. The markets held it together while crypto got destroyed. And so if crypto starts to participate, well, what do we know about crypto? It is the number one risk on asset in all of markets, right? So if you have crypto risk on, you have IWM risk on, you're getting distribution in mega caps here. It looks bullish, maybe not for all mega caps, but it looks bullish across time frames. Unity software is doing well, right? Like there's so many other things that are doing well, but crypto looks like it's ready to push up and out ultimately.
Nick, are you just playing Ethereum, or you're looking at Bitcoin?
I mean, I don't really sell my Bitcoin or Ethereum. I just always buy more.
That's my guy.
Like those are the two. I putz with Solana, XLM, and XRP, and fucking Dodge too. The rest I'll kind of I'll sell in and out of. But I'm certainly not levered, which makes it a lot easier.
Yep.
Than I think
I do like
when they're levered.
I do like the Solana setup here.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, I've said it a dozen times. If I've said it once over the last few months, I love to see that rounded shape there. It's still got to break through that level, but it looks good. As opposed to what I would say Bitcoin, while it still is showing more strength, it's a little flaggy to me. That doesn't mean it can't break out to the highs, as we've seen. Again, Ethereum looked flaggy, and now it's broken out. So I don't know. It's just a structural thing for me. The rounded bottom sort of gives me a more conclusive evidence that it was a bottom, as opposed to something that looks more like a potential bear flag.
Yep. FOMC's out. Did he?
What's it going to be?
Did he increase rates? Fucking guy.
I don't know.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. What does Polymarket say?
I don't know. You know what I find really weird while this stuff happens? Like the strength in the 10-year rates for the last 4 or 5 days. Like why do traders do this? Like why do we have strength in the 10-year? I don't get it. Right? Like anyway. Looks like we're going green. We went green on the NQs.
Decision imminent is what my television says, but I haven't got any alerts or notifications.
We pop pretty hard.
It's going to be here it is. Boom. Steve Leisman, give us the news. I feel like I'm in a bad episode of a movie about a podcast here.
Hey, there's Matt.
Just know there's one thing that is without fail. The moment Jpao says hi, we drop 100 points. It is like clockwork. And then he'll start talking, and then we'll recover in the next minute.
Quarter point drop. They took out a quarter of a point as expected. So Fed funds futures will be 3.5 to 3.75%. So 3.5 to
10-year's actually going
3.75.
down. That's new.
Is it?
10-year usually goes the opposite of whatever the FOMC does, right?
Okay.
Like it has been for the last year plus. So to see it actually not go straight up boner green is different for sure.
Just looking around here at
Meta,
some
you feel the
charts.
gap and you're starting to push higher. Let's do it.
We got it on the 5-minute time frame here, just so we can watch the action.
How's
Isn't it
Vidi
so
responding?
exciting? Nvidia's
not responding.
doing the same thing.
Soxo looks
got
so
sold.
fucking good. I don't have LRCX, but
I know. Gosh,
oof.
Soxel's just so good to me. It's been so good to me all year long.
Gold, solid response. Interesting.
Hey, chat, what are you guys watching on Fed Day? Like, what do you guys look at or pay attention to? Just the cues, just the SPY? Hey, Matt. First move higher, he said. Thanks for stopping by, Matt. Appreciate you, brother. Zaz over here pounding his fist on QCOM.
Yeah, QCOM looks phenomenal.
It does look great. Is it going to outperform other semiconductors? I don't know.
Maybe in the short term. ASML might, because that looks pretty beastly too.
ASML has so many gaps. Look at just look at this chart. This is ASML.
It's awful. It's not a good trader.
Like, look at it. Like, where do you buy the damn thing? Just throw money in blindly and say, I'm buying it today. Is that what you would do, Nick, on ASML? Like you're at all-time highs right now.
Yeah, I botched the trade in ASML. It's been all over my watch list and focus list. And I don't know. It was kind of a FUBAR botch trade, but I think ultimately the real entry was about 780. So kind of similarly to like what we were discussing earlier in Microsoft, having that kind of like with ASML, kind of same thing as Meta. Like there was no prolonged sell-off to like definitively call it an island bottom, but I could call it an island reversal or still an island pattern. And that's kind of what you got in ASML as it gapped down, kind of fucked around the 200-day, kind of rounded out. And then you had the pivot through 775. And then you had the gap and go day on whatever day that was, September 5th. I think that was ultimately your entry. I think it would have been tough to hold through that November 10th candle. In the event that I would have been long ASML, I probably would have been taking a lot off there, which ultimately would have been kind of the wrong thing to do, just being that, price held. But then kind of seeing it build out and kind of put in a range here. Again, your entry was probably November 26th or at the very latest November. The 26th to the 28th. You got the gap up on the 26th, which tested the high of the November 20th bar. And then the following day, or actually that wouldn't have been the following, that would have been the Friday after Thanksgiving. You saw like a nice wide range bar kind of definitively take out the high of that November 20th. So I think that would have been another solid entry. Today actually would have been a phenomenal place to add or leg in just versus the 10-day. If you were long, if you were long from either of those spots, I think this morning would have been a good spot to kind of leg in or add, or if you're kind of waiting to add on strength through the 1142 pivot high, you could probably just kind of measure out like an ABCD pattern or leg up where your A point is kind of 942, your B point again is at 1140, whatever, 42, and then just kind of pull it back. So that gives us a measured move up to about 1300, which on just like a short term momentum trade, that's a solid 200-point run. Yeah. I think LRCX looks pretty good here too, and it's kind of set up to go. And it kind of went sideways as well, kind of just sitting there flirting with the pivot high. And you could kind of do the same thing where you just kind of extend the your support and resistance lines to kind of build up this range from like 135 to basically 169, 170. It's a 30 to 40 point range there. So chances are Lamb probably goes after 200. I think that's kind of the next pending we take out the highs. I think that's the next logical magnet, both in terms of it being a measured move as well as just kind of the round number.
20% up on LRCX or 20% up on ASML. You choose your own adventure.
For sure.
So the dot plots are out and it shows disagreements on what the Fed governors are thinking. And right now it is one cut in 2026, maybe one more cut in 2027 is what the current forecast is. GP, I think we have to look at Netflix.
Small caps call them bullshit, right? Look at what IW is doing. Small caps call them bullshit. I don't care. I don't care about anything that's going on. Look at what small caps are doing. Look at what Bitcoin is doing. Does that look like one cut?
Well, as we talked about yesterday, right? Jay Powell's tenure as Fed chair ends in May. There will be a new Fed chair picked by this administration. And as we know, the current president, he wants to see rates cut. And I think that will be instrumental on what the policy is. So what they say today, I think is just noise, but it could be an opportunity to get long some things. But right now, like you said, GP, the crypto and the small caps could care less what is currently being out there.
Soxel.
Hey, markets are, I just posted in the chat, markets are 6 months forward looking. What does 6 months line up with?
This is coming from the same guy who said things aren't priced in.
Yes, things aren't priced in. Look
things
at IWM. It's telling you things aren't priced in. Markets are forward looking in terms of monetary policy, right? Not necessarily efficiency. So they're saying, hey, in 6 months, you just said it, right? He steps down in May. Whatever the noise is right now, and they cut, right? The concern was maybe they don't cut and they just leave it flat and call it data dependent. So they cut. Powell's doing what he's supposed to do. Now the markets can be like, hey, we can start to price in what 6 months from now looks like. And that's going to look like a life without Jay Powell.
Okay. So, okay.
Yeah,
well, no, go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just going to point to the earlier discussion. If we rip out of here to Thursday, I really want to see any type of weakness really remain contained and orderly. As far as just like, I want to see the pivot high hold as kind of like the AM weakness. IWM fucking.
You're excited. You're excited about that.
I am. It's tough to like. I mean, ASTS just took out its pivot high.
Rocket Lab's about to take out 58.
Yeah, Rocket Lab's about to go.
Champagne room.
So everybody's bulled up. We'll see how that lasts in about 25 minutes. But right now, everyone's bulled up on the show. You're not bullish enough.
I'm not bulled up till the actual mega caps turn, right? And for this market to have legs, they cannot be this weak. They need to turn. So I am bullish on small caps, right? They will continue to kind of grind higher here, but to get a market moving event where we actually break out of this consolidation, mega caps have to participate.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
Yes, Queen. Yes, exactly. And that's my whole thesis is when I was going through that 160 days of NVIDIA or 180 days of Amazon, right? They have just been biding their time. And we've talked about mega cap rotation a ton And while it's great to see the market broaden out with breadth, it goes higher when the mega caps say, okay, we're involved with this move, right? Like it has to.
But that's the only thing that's going to move the markets meaningfully, right? It will take
Right.
493 stocks to go up 10% each to
Right.
match the move of what Microsoft is doing, right?
Yes.
That's the reality. So without
We're on the same
them,
page.
I know. I'm bullish small caps. I have been. It was shitco winter. We took in. This is the winter fall dance. We're good, but small caps haven't broken out yet. They're strong. They still haven't taken out all-time highs. Like, I'm happy that small caps are going, but they haven't taken out all-time highs. IWM has, RTY has not.
I just posted in the chat, to be honest, I hate Fed days, but here we are.
Yes, I also hate Fed days because there's too much ball tickling fuckery. So
Ooh. Hey, chat, we got about 15 minutes. It might not matter in another hour and a half, but throw us some tickers. Let's talk some tickers. We already hit some crypto. We already hit the space, the next diamond hand frontier. The only thing we didn't really touch on was airlines and drones. I know our guy Za in the chat. He loves Embraer. He loves jets. Nick GP, are you guys checking out the drones? You like Joby, right, Nick?
Yeah, I'm in Joby and ONDS. I don't have anything. I'm not in Archer right now, but I think Archer looks pretty good too. I don't know, happened to go with Joby. I think Archer here, at least on the daily, I like that it kind of reclaim the 750, and where its price is sitting right now, it's kind of like what I kind of call like where price is in the pocket, where you've got kind of a slow grind the last 4 trading sessions into the kind of curling 10 and 20-day moving average. The only problem with Archer in this particular setup is that you've got the 50 and the 200 overhead, but it's also kind of looking a little bit like an inverse head and shoulders. I wouldn't call it a cup and handle, but I also like the range from $6-7 up to like 13. So, GP touched on
wide range.
GP kind of touched a little bit yesterday on money being dead when you're in a stage 1 base. And Archer's not necessarily in a stage 1 base, but it is within a range. So it's just the way that it's currently set up, you at least have a bullish setup at the low end of the range. So you might get a trade back up to the high end of the range, let's say 12 to 13, 12 to 14. Whether or not it really has the legs to kind of bust through that and head higher is kind of to be obviously determined.
Well, it's the ultimate in ranges. It's the ultimate, buy low, sell high, right? Like,
yeah.
If you can identify the range and you find points on the range, that's where you take your opportunity. That's where you can lower your cost basis if you maybe bought and thought it was a breakout and it failed, right?
Yep. Not to totally switch gears, but one of the dudes in the YouTube chat asked about Stellantis, and I don't really know anything about it, but I pulled up the ticker. Yeah, and I thought it actually looked I don't know, not STLA. It is a big stage 1 base.
That's the maker of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep vehicles.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It does look like it's kind of reversing trend. It's busted through, at least on the weekly, it's busted through all the long-term moving averages. It's reclaimed that 1140. I think 1140 to $10. I know it's kind of a big spot, but that would be kind of my line in the sand. If I had layered trail stops, if price got below 1140, I'd be out, or at least out of most of it, and then I'd probably leave a little bit on, and if it dropped below $10,
I'd GP, would you rather be invested in Stellantis or Rivian?
Oh, Rivian.
Rivian, dude. Like,
Yeah,
hands
100%.
down. We've talked about this multiple times over the last couple of months. Rivian's 2026 will be one for the ages, is my
That's
view and my opinion.
Is this your Tesla 2019 moment, basically, for Rivian?
It's I would say it's closer to the 2013 moment, right?
Ooh.
And so
Yeah.
like that went from 30 to 180. So it's the first expansion level. So from here, 18, 19, we can potentially get to, let's say, 90 to 100 here. But I think they have a lot to prove, like Tesla had a lot to prove. They're gonna get a lot more leeway. And if Tesla continues to move higher, they'll drag them up as well. But they'll have to go to profitability. On their cars, and they can't do that until they do production. And 2013 Tesla, 2014 Tesla was the first when it went from 38 to 180 in like a really quick moment. That was the first time the Model S and Tesla went profitable. They subsequently had lots of losing quarters afterwards, but that's what caused the expansion. It's like, oh, people see the vision, right? So I would say Rivian's in the 2013 moment, not necessarily the 2019 moment.
Let's go back and look at the 2013 moment while we're here.
The Rivian chart
back.
The Rivian chart on the weekly looks so fucking good to me. It looks exactly like the overall market did, kind of going 2022, kind of like a long descending channel. Then all of a sudden price went sideways, and like price has largely been going sideways in Rivian since before 2024. But we had a bunch of 3-week tight closes at the bottom of the range and the bottom of that stage 1 base. I've got 4 different areas where price went uber tight at the low end of range on Rivian. And I agree. I would totally, if there was I think one spec name, I don't know. I love Rivian too. I hope that I don't know. I love Rivian too. I think it looks phenomenal.
So I'm doing pretty good with a cost basis, like in the 12s.
Yeah, totally.
I'm doing all right with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting real fucking pretty. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
like 2 months ago,
just
it
checking.
would have been like, this is the thing about the stage 1 bases, right? Like 2 months ago, it was at like 13 or 14, right? There's frustration, but it's setting up for a longer term. So when you get those opportunities to get them at the real bottom of the range, that 11, 12, 13 mark, you're obviously in a much better position moving forward, but you don't necessarily need that, right? I guess that's what I'm saying. So you're in a great position.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it.
Yeah. But that money that you've now parked in there is costing you versus other setups that are working, right? And that's the thing about it's the trade-off. It's not wrong or anything, but that's when you're sitting in front of the markets and you watch this shit go up and down, up and down, up and down, and then RGTI, the spaghetti, goes up 700% in that time. You're like, wow, I wish I had that cash to ride this trend for a while, right? So
yeah, but in my defense, right? Like, I'm not watching every 5 or 15 or hour chart, right? Or I'm not watching every 4 hour. So for me, it's hard to identify the spaghetti stocks or whatever quantum name or whatever else is out there that someone may glom into because it has this opportunity for a move. For me, it's easier to buy a SoFi in the single digits or the Soxel in the single digits and ride those much higher over time. Soxel, not so much, more the exception than the rule, but just trading that range, right? And that's what I was pointing out to earlier is, I've paid for positions like Rivian multiple times by buying support, selling resistance, buying support, selling resistance, buying support, selling resistance. So I can understand, yes, it's opportunity cost if I'm that type of momentum trader, but that's really not my game. And I think one thing that we all have learned is our time frames are all different and the strategies that we execute are different. But as long as you're happy with your outcome and the process, and I think all three of us are aligned that our outcomes want to be appreciation over time and quicker the better, then it works out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it wasn't a commentary on either one of you or myself as well. I was just addressing the soul crushing part of a stage one base for many investors. Like, the opportunity cost is real, but the question is, like, if it 10x is in the 2 years, could you have made 10x by redeploying that capital, right?
Sure.
And most of the answers are zero, no. Like 9 out of 10 people couldn't do that.
Yeah,
Right? 99
no,
out of 100 people couldn't 10x that capital.
and it's tough to find some of those, parabolic exponential growers that happen over a couple days, right? Sometimes you're lucky to just catch a piece of that move. And a lot of times the move comes when the stocks are the most hated, or like, I mean, we were talking about Open yesterday. We can go to Open and look at that, right? Like, Open wasn't loved until all of a sudden, this short squeeze potential happened. And then all of a sudden it goes from 50 cents up to $1. And it's like, well, how high can it go? And we see how high it goes now. But just for every story of an Open, there is plenty of other charts that had something similar happening that didn't fall in people who put their money in its favor, right? There are more stocks that are, going to lead you to disaster that are going to produce an Open outcome.
Yeah. I think like, well, if you're talking about names that are in that space, right? Like those stage one kind of bases, Open is definitely one of those conversations. Unity continues to be that one too, right?
I still like Unity.
Unity looks like AppLovin before AppLovin became a household name.
Wow.
Problem is Unity is already a household name. AppLovin was not.
It very much has the Roblox setup too. Here's Roblox from 2022 to 2024, and now go back to Unity. Very similar.
Yeah, and like, to me, the thing that Roblox never had that Unity has is accumulation, and that's what I think is going to separate this chart. Roblox was a grinder, right? Like, it was a miserable grinder, even though it moved. But you can see in that chart, there's not a ton of accumulation. So even though there's not accumulation, it pushes higher, but it struggles the whole way up. Whereas when Unity has that accumulation underneath the surface, and you can see the difference, right? These charts, look at the green bars that stand out to you in the Unity versus Roblox chart. And this is the stuff that gives me the confidence that Unity will most likely clear all-time highs and then some, with patience. Patience is required in any of this stuff, but
I'd almost like kind of compare the path stage one base to Roblox, even though I like the path stage one base too. There are some high volume bars, but like there's not quite the standout kind of accumulation like you're talking about in U. Yeah, I agree. I think U it's a monster in the making already.
But that bar right there, Nick, that one bar makes up for all the lack of accumulation in the overall chart, right? That level, that's, if you look on a monthly basis, look at that volume, right? In that, we've been trapped in that month of October, right? I think it was just a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
That level of volume, that more than tripled the highest volume candle ever on a month. That makes up for whatever you're talking, like that just makes up for it, right? That's, so, like, to me, this is not even a stage one base yet. That just bottomed with that accumulation candle.
Yeah, I can see that.
It still has to build a base. That's the way I look at things. Obviously everyone looks at things differently, but that first candle is that it's that warning shot we always talk about, right? Saying,
Yeah.
yo, shorts, you better get out of the way because this is going to get miserable for you. You might have days where you can launch it and make some money, but a long-term short on this is going to be a very miserable path for you. The same thing happened in Lemonade. If you look at Lemonade, right?
Lemonade.
Look at that.
Cool,
Look at
refreshing
that.
drink.
Like if you go to the monthly,
one thing that
look at that
Go ahead,
big, like there wasn't a lot of accumulation in the in Lemonade down there, right? And then you had that monthly massive accumulation bar, and it kind of rounded up for 9 months, and then now it's just drawing shorts little by little, right? So path probably follows the same path.
So this is what I love, and we all talk about how we do things, and it's all different. But again, the outcomes are what we're looking for, right? And when those play out or they align between the three of us, it's a beautiful thing, and that's really all that matters. Is we're happy with our processes, and we see these awesome returns in the end. What are you laughing about?
GP talking about the grinder.
Grinder
were you like a
offering
cover
job.
model, or what kind of job were they offering you?
Dude, so like I did IT work in a previous lifetime, so so
we'll call this segment Story Time with GP, sponsored by whoever wants to partner with us.
So in 2022, right, when the markets were struggling, I'm like, maybe I should get a real job and be a participating human in life. And so this job came up, and I was like, oh yeah, I loved the way the chart looked on Grindr, so I'm like, I gotta be in this company. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, I don't think I can actually say the words out loud of where you work. So I'm like, yeah, no thanks. But the chart has looked great in Grindr for many years now.
Yeah. What are the other dating apps that are?
We're
was it
bed, by the way, guys? The gap has been resistance. That 700 level is not doing well. Before we sign off here, it just keeps rejecting. It's the same gap that the ES is rejecting as well. Microsoft has not participated at all in the grind up here, and we are about to listen to our favorite guest, Jay Powell.
Jay Powell.
Can't hear you, Ben.
I muted myself. Last word. 1 minute. Let's go.
Oh shit. Just fucking do it.
All right, I love it. GP.
Appreciate all of you, everybody that tunes in and interacts with us in chat.
Of course.
Appreciate you.
Looking forward to how awesome 2026 is going to be.
Yeah.
Why don't koalas count as bears? They don't have the qualifications. And we're out. We'll see you next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, 2 p.m. Right here, Stocktwits, Wednesday, 2 p.m. The Community Rip Live. We love you.